Today we are talking about 10 signs that you could be someone who's going through a spiritual awakening. So if you find that you might be someone who truly is embarking on this journey of self-discovery, or you feel like you might be someone who might be going through a spiritual awakening, then this video is for you. Today we are talking about 10 signs that you could be someone who's going through a spiritual awakening. So I believe that the seed of spiritual growth lies within all of us. We all have this ability, this potential to go through a spiritual awakening. And some may go through it in this lifetime, some may go through it in like another lifetime, but we do all carry the seed of enlightenment within us. And I believe that we all have this potential to embark on a journey of spiritual growth and transformation. And if you are someone who feels like you might be embarking on this journey, then in this video we're talking about 10 signs that you could be someone who might be on this path of spiritual growth or enlightenment. And I think the first sign that could truly indicate that you are someone who's going through a spiritual awakening is that you find that you want to be more in solitude. Having to spend a lot of time with yourself alone in solitude. This is where a lot of us go into a hermit phase. Going into a hermit phase just means that you truly want to spend some time alone in solitude, having to really ask yourself these really deep questions such as, who am I? What is my purpose? What do I truly like? Having this ability to turn your attention inwardly to yourself, to your true self, and having the ability to truly uncover who you are. It's when we truly enjoy a lot of time alone, and you'll find that in the spiritual journey you want to be in solitude more often than not, because it really gives you this time to be with yourself and to sit with yourself, sit in this inquiry process where we start to truly ask ourselves these really deep, profound questions and have our intuition guide us towards the answers to these questions. So you'll find that you just want to be more in solitude and spend some time in like this hermit phase where you truly get to sit with yourself and be with yourself. And this is really important for spiritual growth and transformation, because it truly allows you to discover who you truly are. When we are able to tune out the noise of the world and tune into our own intuition, into our own wisdom, that's when we truly can tap into our own potential, our true purpose, and our authentic self. The second sign that you could be going through a spiritual awakening is that you might find that you are suddenly so interested and invested in learning about spirituality. You seem to seek out spiritual knowledge in spiritual books, in teachers. You just seem to be in this phase where you want to learn. There's this childlike joy and excitement about wanting to learn more about spirituality. You might be finding out more about your spirit guides or something like that, where it truly is of interest to you and you just find yourself diving deep into spiritual knowledge, wanting to find out more, wanting to learn more. Okay, the third sign that you are going through a spiritual awakening is that you might find that you become more perceptive. Being perceptive means that you become aware of the things that you were not aware of before. Now, in our spiritual journey, we grow in consciousness and we grow in awareness. Being able to really perceive the things that we could not be able to perceive before, becoming open and receptive to these things, becoming more receptive to energy more than before, having this ability to experience reality in a new way, through new eyes and through new levels of awareness. And as this happens, we start to really recognize our oneness with the universe. We start to recognize that all things happen in divine order. So it's, we start to really interact with life through new levels of awareness. And as we go about this spiritual journey, we start to really recognize that we truly are growing in awareness. And as we do this, our perception starts to change, our view on life and how we relate to our environment starts to really alter and change. You might find that with more perception comes your ability to become more aware of the things that are in alignment with you and the things that are completely out of alignment with who you are becoming and who you truly are. So this gives you this ability to really shift these things and to become more in alignment. You find that your interest starts to really change. You start to become more interested in things that truly ignite you. It lights up your soul, makes you feel more alive. You start to really gravitate towards the things that really are in alignment with you. So you find that your interest starts to change. The things that you were interested in doing before having a spiritual awakening could be really, really different. Could be like a 360 change that you make, where it's now all of a sudden you are much more interested in things that are more creative in nature, or things that maybe you stopped doing when you were 6 or 7 years old. Things that truly gets and brings out the joy in you, brings out the soul in you, and you just start to really become more interested and invested in those things. The fifth sign that you are going through a spiritual awakening is that you might find that you become more sensitive. I know that at the beginning of my journey, it was very difficult for me to go into areas where it was crowded. I was so afraid to even leave my home because of my sensitivity. It wasn't just the sensitivity of other people, but it was this sort of global anxiety, this global consciousness that I could tap into and feel into what was happening globally. And it truly, truly was an experience for me where I didn't really know what was happening at first, but I found out how sensitive I was when I could really tap into certain timelines and sort of know when things were going to happen on a global level. And this was my sensitivity being expanded more than ever, and I felt very open. I felt very much receptive and open and very intuitive and very psychic. So you might find that your sensitivity really opens up. As an empathic person, you find that your sensitivity truly increases, and sometimes it can feel very much ungrounding. It can feel so overwhelming because we sort of don't really, or are not prepared to handle that sensitivity. Our bodies are not prepared to handle that sensitivity. But this is one of the signs that you're awakening, and at first it can be truly overwhelming, but you truly do understand the gift of your sensitivity and being an empathic person. So the sixth sign that you are going through a spiritual awakening is that you experience more synchronicities. Synchronicities is the way in which the universe really communicates to us, the way in which we communicate to us, I would say, as it really is a way in which we guide ourselves. And synchronicities are a great way to really help us and guide us on our path. And when we start to truly get on this path of discovering who we are, you'll start to find that you experience more and more synchronicities. We start to really recognize that synchronicities really help us understand when we are in alignment and when we are out of alignment. And it truly is a way in which to guide us towards our path, to guide us towards our purpose, to guide us towards uncovering who we truly are. And as we do that, we start to really see more and more of these synchronicities out there in our environment. You may find that you start to experience numbers. You start seeing all these angel numbers, and they sort of let you know when you're on the right path, something like that. You might also find that you experience like other synchronized events where it's too good to be a coincidence, and you start to really recognize how guided and how protected you are on this path. So the seventh sign that you're going through a spiritual awakening is that you might find that you feel lost. We tend to go through this sort of ego death where we start to uncover and unravel the sort of false self that we have created, this persona, this character, this sort of personality, egoic self that we have created. When we start to go through spiritual awakening, we start to really unravel and uncover who we truly are, having our false self really break down, having it deconstruct in a way. And this really can make us feel very lost and scared and anxious and depressed, because who we thought we were for so many years starts to really crumble and break down. And this is often times where we start to really ask the question, who am I beyond all of this, beyond the identity, beyond the identity that I have created for myself. And so we truly do feel lost. We feel like we are unknown. We don't really know what the future holds, but we know that the person that we have created in the past, this false self, is no longer who we are. As we start to grow in awareness, we start to shine the light of our consciousness on our unconscious self, making us become aware of the belief systems, the beliefs that are causing us suffering, the conditioning. We start to become aware that we've been conditioned to think, act, behave in a certain way. And, we can really reprogram our mind. We can truly recondition ourselves. We can adopt better beliefs about ourselves, ones that are much more in alignment with who we are in the present moment, that we don't have to live through the past. We don't have to live through our beliefs and outdated conditioning, outdated belief systems. So we truly become aware of this. We start to really unravel our shadow side, our unconscious side, the parts of us that we have truly repressed for many years. We start to truly work our way through that, and we start to really uncover and unravel who we truly are beyond all of that. Number 9, we start to really rethink everything. We start to rethink the people we're around, the family members that we have, the friends that we have, the environment that we are living in, the job that we are working in. We start to really ask ourselves, are they in alignment with who we are? And a lot of times we tend to we vibrationally outgrow our environment. We tend to vibrationally outgrow the people in our life. And so we truly start to ask this question, am I in the right place? Is there more out there for me? And, am I truly surrounded by people that are going to really help me in my growth? And so we truly ponder this question and start to really rethink our entire life. And number 10, you start to truly feel like you have found your way out. And what I mean by this is that when we start to embark on our spiritual journey, we start to learn so much about ourselves. We start to really recognize that, we can truly feel whole and complete within ourselves. And we can ground ourselves in something greater, releasing this identity that we've held on to for so many years, and to truly embody a greater identity, to embody a greater state, a spiritual state within ourselves. And so there's this feeling of peace, of joy, knowing that, in this lifetime you have truly found something of value, something of depth that you can ground yourself into, that you can truly I would say, reside into. You start to recognize that it is in this lifetime where you start to live with higher values, higher awareness, higher levels of consciousness that perhaps before in different lifetimes or all your life, we have truly really suffered in our unconsciousness. And now it is where we truly get to break free from that. We get to break out of that into who we truly are and ground ourselves in that. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this video was of service to you in some way. Thank you so much for receiving today. I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.